It's the first week of September, and my first frost date is like the end of October, early November. I've started 4 trays of fall plant starts in my basement, and they're all doing really well. I'm going to be transferring some stuff out to the garden here in the next couple of days, as well as direct sowing some things. But I wanted to go around to some local nurseries and see if I could find some other fall plant starts, some things that I could go ahead and put in my garden that are already started. I'm here at a local place here in Conway, Arkansas, and I thought I would take you guys in with me. Let's go see what we can find. Well, this nursery does not have any cole crops in yet, or any like fall vegetable garden starts. It's such a hard thing because it's hot here, and so it's hard to kind of hit that window well. But they do have house plants, which is not what I came to buy. Look at all the succulents. I want all the succulents. Oh wow, look at this. Is that gorgeous or what? Y'all, what are these? I don't know anything about houseplants, but I'm sure some of you brilliant people do. Isn't that beautiful? This is alocasia. I have this at my house. It's so pretty. So lots of beautiful plants at the first place, very beautiful place, but they did not have any cole crops yet. Nothing for me to be able to put in my garden, so I'm gonna head on to another place. This is honestly just kind of the issue that you run into planting a fall garden, because in the spring it's just marketed. It's everywhere. You can find starts for your vegetable garden at the grocery store. But in the fall, it's not so much like that. And also there's just a really short window that you can plant these things. So I'm gonna go try some other stores. I thought this big nursery would have something, but she said that it's been too hot and they're not gonna bring anything in for the next couple weeks. So on to the next place. Obviously not a plant store. Actually went into another place, found nothing, and sat down and called multiple places in the area. Nobody had fall stuff in yet. You know, they're starting to get like mums and flowers like that, like decor stuff, but nobody had garden starts for growing vegetables. So actually the nursery that I really like, which is actually in Sherwood, and I end up buying from them usually every fall, they get really good quality plants. I called him and he was putting the order in, so they'll be in this week. Of course I'll be at Baker Creek, so I'll go check out what they have when I get back. It did encourage me that I'm not as behind as I feel. I mean, if all the nurseries don't even have their starts in yet, surely I'm not just like miserably behind. I did decide to go ahead and come home and start putting some seeds in the ground. Now, a lot of the seeds in this box are things like lettuces and cabbages, which obviously those are the things I started inside. I did go ahead, Benjamin just took and direct sowed some more squash and cucumbers. I'm gonna transplant the ones that I started out here as well. And then I'm gonna go ahead and start direct sowing radishes, lots of radishes, and beets, and even more kale. I'm gonna direct sow more kale. Here's a little kale stack here. So yeah, I got a lot of work to do. The first step is reclaiming these garden beds from the weeds. It's not too terribly bad. I've tried to stay on top of it so that it's not just a miserable task. But the thing is right now that fire ants are just everywhere. And that's one of those things, I get asked that question all the time. How do you deal with fire ants? And mostly, I just get stung by them. I don't know, like we've done the whole like cornmeal thing, boric acid, cinnamon, so many different natural things, diatomaceous earth. That pretty much kind of chases them around. The boric acid will knock them out for a little while. But yeah, I mean, I just steadily bring stuff out here. They're very difficult to deal with. and I got stung a handful of times pulling weeds because I haven't been in the garden beds for the last few weeks, so I haven't stayed on top of that. But I did get this bed cleared out of all the weeds that needed to be pulled. Down there's pepper plants still going, but this space I'm going to plant. You can see we've started putting our irrigation in, which actually we just ran the drip line for that. We haven't like really started to hook all that up yet. There will be a video about that as we get more into actually putting it in. It's not anywhere near functioning yet. This bed still has a lot of peppers and basil and stuff in it, but I am going to come and fill the spaces. That thyme, look at that thyme. Isn't that huge? That's been there for going on 2 years now. Isn't that cool? And obviously I've got some weeds to pull here, peppers to pick, and all these spaces though, I'm gonna plant stuff all through there. This one, well, here I am telling you my plan. I haven't really nailed it down yet, so I guess I should stop. I've kind of got a loose plan. Maya's actually gonna come out here with me this evening, and we are going to discuss my ideas and what he feels like we're gonna be able to execute. Like, I'm envisioning something, but I don't really know exactly what that's gonna look like putting it together. Well, I honestly don't really know 100% where things are gonna be. I have in my mind doing some kind of like floating row covers over the beds, building like little greenhouse type structures, but I'm not really sure. But when we talk and we figure out kind of how many of those we want to do, I'll know where I'm going to put things, because underneath those things I want to put my cabbages, cauliflowers, broccolis, and kales. Those are things I just want to be able to give a little bit of cover to, because with just a little bit of cover, those will produce and throughout the winter. They'll grow really slowly just because there's not a ton of light. But like kale growing through the winter is so good, and I would like to plant a lot of that. I've got a whole tray of starts inside of different kales, but I'm gonna direct sow a lot. I'm even considering doing an entire bed with just different varieties of kale. We put it through our juicer. I put it in soup a lot during the winter, and then make kale chips, which my kids even love. So we actually would be able to use a lot of that. And I'm kind of running into a little something. I guess it's kind of difficult, not really, but as you'll see, there's like all these beautiful flowers still around the garden. Largely zinnias and marigolds. That's for the most part what it is, some dahlias, but I just can't bring myself to pull them out. So if I did, that would open up a lot of space for more cold weather stuff. When it turns frosty, those things are gonna just die the very first night that it drops below 32. But I don't know, if I can have just a couple more months with them, they're so happy. I just don't think I can pull these out. Look at this. All of these right here, these volunteered from last year, and I just let them grow. I've got some flowering basil here. All the flowering basil I'm leaving in place because the bees just love it so much. Marigolds, more zinnias, those totally volunteered. Now this right here is actually like a blight that zinnias get. I saw somebody post a picture about this in our Facebook group the other day asking what it was. And this is like a zinnia specific disease from what I understand. Kind of see it there. We're gonna hang out over here in the shade because it's hot outside. That zinnia, that spots on the zinnias, mine have gotten that the last few years. I don't know how it was introduced. They say that it can be passed through seeds, so I actually don't save seeds for any of my zinnias, but inevitably they reseed and they end up back in the beds. And so I've kind of just resolved to the fact that that's going to happen. It's not awful and it doesn't typically kill them. They just get really spotty and funky looking by the end of the season. It doesn't show up until like now. But because it is here, I always use new zinnia seeds, and they start out really healthy, but by the end of the year they end up with that. And I don't save seeds because I don't want to send that yuckiness to anybody else's garden or continue putting it in mine. Now I had in my mind that I was going to, that was a strange bug. I don't know what that is. Well, he's gone now. So I had in my mind that I was going to do kind of like a garden tour tonight. showing what all was left and what was going where, but it really just depends on how much planting I get done today. I also thought I was going to be buying fall plant starts today. So I don't know, I may still do that video tonight, or I might wait till we get back from Baker Creek. I would really like to show you guys kind of what's remaining and the status of it. Today, trying to shop for those plant starts really reminded me how, like, not marketed a fall garden is. Because, you know, in the spring it's everywhere. Like, you could just get plant starts wherever you go. But in the fall, granted, it's just such a short window, because if you don't start your plants in the right time, they're not going to have time to grow at all before it gets too cold and they get too stunted. And then, of course, during the window that you're supposed to plant them, like right now it's 95 degrees, so obviously a lot of people aren't out in their garden. Their gardens are dying away, and they're not even upset about it because it's really hot. So, I don't know, this exact moment when I'm sitting here with all these seeds and ants are biting me and it's really hot, like, it's too hot. Benjamin went inside. Like, even my little garden buddy was like, no, I'm good. I'm going inside to get some water. Right now is when I'm like, fall garden, do I really want that? But I promise you, by about mid-October, end of October, I'm gonna walk through here and be like, I'm so glad that I planted this garden. Look how happy it is. You know, I guess that's how it goes. Oh, look, he didn't abandon me after all. Hey, garden boy, did you cool off? Yeah? Let's go. I love you. Yeah?
Where's the picture going?
Huh?
What are these?
Let me see. Beets. Are you gonna go plant those beets?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay, go plant them.
They're called beets.
Yeah, go plant those.
I'm trying to get all the seeds.
Go plant them over there where you planted the squash. We also might have a little bit of a mystery going on in the garden this fall because I've let Benjamin take a lot of initiative on where things are going.
No, I planted them.
You did good.
Yeah.
We can leave all this out here. I'll be back here in a little bit.
Yeah,
Sound good?
No, we will.
We will be back here in a little bit. Yeah, I won't leave you. Okay? What's really cool is that next week I'll be at the expo, and I'll be able to see all of these root vegetables and everything grown, like full grown, because I'll have them in the expo hall. So it's really neat because of the timing of the expo and my growing season. I get to go there and see everything grown, and if something really impresses me, like root wise, beets, radishes, carrots, turnips, all that, I can come home and plant it because I still have time, which is very nice. I'm gonna take this little boy inside and we are going to get some lunch. Then I'm gonna come back out here and get back to planting. Thank you guys for hanging out with me today, even though our mission was quite an unsuccessful one. We'll try again later. I bless you. Until next time.